What is up, guys? This is the Anarchist. Like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Today I'm doing an update on my masked Inzektors. Well, I've been playing with this recently on Yugioh Pro, so if you see me there, feel free to join me and stuff. But yeah, I've been really loving this deck. I really hope that in the next ban list we get Hornet to 2 or Dragonfly to 2 and Hornet to 2, because I kind of believe Hornet to be more likely. But I've seen on several fan-made ones and other stuff that people are underestimating Inzektors and saying, put Dragonfly to 2 at the same time of Hornet. Yes, please do that. I will be over the moon if you do that, because I will be able to play an instant, like, OTK out of nowhere everyday deck. And I would love that. But let's get started with the deck profile. The side deck is not actually a side deck, it's just cards that I will probably explain why I'm not playing them and what you could do with them. Yeah, but anyway, 1 Inzektor Dragonfly, 1 Hornet. I want these guys to go to 2. 3 Centipede, your Searcher, and the only reason why this deck is still playable. 3 Ladybug, because don't listen to people who say play 2. Yes, it's dead if you draw it, but if you do the Inzektor OTK, which is basically all I do in this deck. I have done the grind out, whatever type things, but it's never as fun. But I like this is the more of an OTK variant, and you need to summon the 3rd Ladybug, because you will either draw one of these when you're not supposed to, or you won't be able to summon it, or it'll get killed, and you'll end up with, you'll have a Dragonfly, one of these, maybe 2, and you can actually summon out these guys and your Hopper, and still OTK from that, surprisingly, because you use one of these as level manipulation to bring these up for the Xyz, or you can just equip a Gigamantis and have a scary Ladybug. Like, one game I literally drew the worst, and my opponent drew like actually really good sort of cards. But their deck struggled with highlight attack monsters, so I summoned a Hornet, equipped 2 of these over 2 turns, had a Gigamantis, a Sword, and the Inzektor Axe, which I haven't got in this build, but I did in the other one, but I was messing about in that. But honestly, it was like a stupid attack Inzektor Hornet. But yeah, 1 Hopper, 2 Gigamantis. It's what every Inzektor player has wanted to do for a long time, because Gigamantis is great because it's special. So when it's destroyed while equipped to a monster, which is basically if your monster gets attacked over or this gets MST'd type of thing, you get to special summon an Inzektor from the grave, which is like amazing, because you can do this with your Hornet and stuff, and plus even more. Instead of just specials, if you equip this and a Hornet to your Dragonfly and use Hornet to pop this, which is part of the OTK, you can special summon 2 from Dragonfly, and then bring back any Inzektor from the grave on top of that, and then be able to use all of their effects to equip Hornet. Like, I went against this Yang Xing player playing this, and that's a bit of a struggle with this, because it's like, how do you get through all of the resources, because you just set off their effects continually. This deck doesn't banish very often, so I don't think it can actually, but it just goes through it all. Yes, it can. And it was like, what can I do? And I used Hornet so many times. This guy ran out of resources and quit the game, saying like, how is this still going on just on the OTK? I then played triple Mathematician. If I played the Armageddon Knight, I'd probably play the Allure of Darkness, and I'm considering trying to play the Allure of Darkness again, purely because even if you banish an Inzektor, you can bring it back with Levier, and you can continue with plays, and there are ways of continuing on from there. I just dislike having to, because I've had so many times where I've had a Hornet or a Centipede, it's like, I never really want to banish any of these 3, because it's like, you need them. So I end up banishing Dark Armed half the time, just because you don't need it, but it's nice to have. 1 Dark Armed, 1 Inzektor Sword. Some people play 2. I chose to play the 2 Gigamantis. I might actually. I chose to play the 2 Gigamantis because Gigamantis lets you special summon from the grave, which is so much better than adding it back to your hand. The adding back to hand is purely for if you say. Just in case your opponent stops your play next turn, sort of thing. And I prefer to have this, but for certain decks like anti-towers, I would probably side deck a second sword, or even a sword and axe, because if you go against that Towers Turbo deck, this deck can put out huge attack monsters if you start including the equipped cards on these. And I mean, this deck can suddenly have any of these because of Gigamantis. It makes basically their original attack becomes 2400. 2400 plus 800, that's 32 already on a normal summoned Ladybug, which is usually dead. And then you can equip an axe, and oh, that's 4200. And then then you can equip to the Ladybug another Ladybug, for example, or a Hornet, and it gains another 500, 4700. They can get really scary really quickly. But I then play the one Foolish, standard, dump Hornet, or dump a Ladybug, depending on what you need. Sometimes you don't actually want to dump the Hornet, because if your opponent is playing a deck that banishes in the grave and stuff, or if they've got a completely clear field, you don't want to have to pop your own cards all the time. You can use it to your advantage, but level manipulation can also help a lot. I love about this is the Inzektor OTK all starts basically the same, but how it ends can be totally different. There are so many variants how it ends. A Regeki, because sometimes you just want to clear the board. A One Day of Peace. This is not a meta deck. You don't mind letting your opponent draw, because neither player takes damage until the end of the opponent's next turn. So you can either activate this in main phase 2 and live next turn, or you can just use it to stall out your opponent, which is really nice, because if you don't have the combo cards, this deck struggles. Soul Charge, because you don't have to Soul Charge for 5, which is always nice, but you can Soul Charge for just a Dragonfly, and maybe a Centipede or whatever you've got in the grave, and you can suddenly go off insanely. You then play triple Upstart Goblin because you need to draw, triple Pot of Duality because you need to draw, even though you special summon a lot. I wouldn't even want to side this out because you just need to draw that much. If you don't get these two, you can't OTK, and while, as I've said, you can make a big beat stick monster that then special summons itself out due to Gigamantis or gets back to the hand and stuff, it's just one of those things. You prefer to OTK. Triple MST, double Forbidden Lance. You could maybe drop a Forbidden Lance for a Book of Moon, or a Forbidden Chalice, or a Ring of Destruction. I've been tempted to tech in the double summon purely because I'll open Dragonfly and Centipede and be like, oh, I've got a dead Centipede. But double Master Change second. This card, basically, there are enough discard fodder in this deck. You can dump these 4 and that one, so that's 5, 6, 7, and then you don't care about your second and third mathematician if you get one off. And there's a lot of discard fodder, like a Dead Pot Duality if you've already activated one that turn, that you don't mind discarding to get out Darklaw. And I don't play double Darklaw because I just find that it's not the focus of the deck, it's just an added bonus. And as I found with my Volcanic Hero deck, I would much rather go first into Anki, attack over their monster, search out the second one, make a Darklaw, and then attack again. I just like that play a lot. I then play the one Compulsory Evacuation device because when you can't pop it with Hornet and stuff, if it's one of those monsters that can't be destroyed, return to the hand. This is one of the few decks I would like to play Ring of Destruction in if I could find space. I then play triple Fiendish Chain. You want to stall out and stop effects. Trishula, both Trishulas, as in Necros Trishula and non-Necros Trishula, they hurt this deck. So you want to stop effects, which is why I might even play Chalice instead of a Lance. And then triple Powerful Rebirth. This is one of the first decks that I found that can abuse this card so much, because Call of the Haunted, which you can play, and some people will play triple Call of the Haunted and a Oasis Dragon Souls, or triple of both. And I find that's too much, purely because I am one of those people that I have, no joke, opened like 2 or 3 games in a row after separating these in the deck, triple Call of the Haunted, a Dark Arm Dragon, and like a sword or something, and it's like, or an MST, that was it, yeah, it was an MST, and it's like, well, this is a fun start to the game. So I just always disliked having too many summon it from the grave ones, because I tend to open them, because I am really unlucky like that. But this card, because it adds a level, it's really difficult to use and it only does level 4 or lower monsters, which is fine for this deck. But because it adds 100 attack and increases level by 1, because you do level manipulation so much with Ladybug, you don't care about the added level. Usually that's a bad point for most decks, because you'll play level 4s and only make level 4s. This makes 4s, and you can even make rank 7s. You can make anything from rank 2s all the way up to rank 7s if you want. And that's literally overlaying, not like playing on top of an Xyz monster. You can make 2 level 7 Inzektors. I've seen it done. It was difficult, but they did it. For the extra deck, I played the 1 number 17 Leviathan Dragon because MVP, it has been since the first days of Inzektors, because you can just instantly detach. You can overlay your Dragonfly and a Centipede, instantly detach Dragonfly to get this thing up to 2,500 attack, flip your powerful Rebirth, or Call of the Haunt as it used to be in the days, and bring it back and carry on going on from there. So it's a real powerful card. Zen mains, because you sometimes need to stall out. Mech-Whipped Engineer, because you can protect your Dragonfly or Centipede if you need to. Dante, because it's like a mill to the grave version of this, so it's fine like that. Leviair, because if you want to play the Allure of Darkness, and you can use Leviair to continue your plays longer, and if you get your Dragonfly or Hornet banished, you're in a bad way, unless you can make one of those insane attack Ladybugs like I've mentioned. But yeah, you're in a bad way if you can't bring them back, because that's the heart of the deck, really. People say this is the heart of the deck. Without these, the deck is really slow. And then playing number 47, because attacking directly for 2,000 is quite nice. Acid Golem, you only make it at the end of your OTK if you need the extra damage. I very rarely make it, I just like it to be there. A Castel, a Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, because Castel standard rank 4. Oh, I forgot a 101. I would probably drop the 47 for or a Dante. No, I drop the Mech-Whipped Engineer or Dante or Acid Golem on number 47. One of them for number 101, just because I like the card for being, you can use it, you can pop it with Hornet and not kill it and carry on your plays. But yeah, a Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, because it's a huge beat stick whenever you need it to be. Large attack monsters aren't a problem with this guy. Shark Fortress, this was amazing for being a common. This is 2 level 5s and it can attack twice. This brought this deck back again, however many times this deck's been brought back, because it can double attack for 2,400. It can make any of your monsters attack twice, and this guy is the first guy who has to be targeted for an attack, so he's actually really good. The Inzektor Exostag, because you can make him beefy with the equip cards and suck up your opponent's monsters from the field or the grave, which is really good. Because if they're about to target, if they can bring something back, or you've just got rid of their boss monster, you can just nick half its attack, and then equip a Gigamantis on top of that and make it even bigger. The Volcasaurus, because you can do this play, and it's really nice to be able to deal damage and then drop into Gaia Dragon. That's really nice. And the 1 Dark Claw and 1 Anki, because it's really a sideshow being able to do these. I might even drop one of them and just play the Dark Claw, because it's not something. The discard that you need to do for this is just like too many resources for one card. So it's something that you can do, and it's nice to be able to. I prefer this version to the one where you include Shadow Mist and the Shadow's version. I prefer this deck. I've been thinking about teching in. You really want to get rid of effect monsters and stuff that can't be killed. So I might drop a Forbidden Lance for a Forbidden Chalice, and you can, as I've explained the rest. This is only if you have play the Karkar-D version or have 2 Dead Ladybugs. I used to play this, and it's one of the few decks that I still think can really use Ring of Destruction, because Ring of Destruction, you don't tend to lose life points very much beyond the Soul Charge if you can help it. So being able to go Ring of Destruction, get your opponent's life points down further, only makes your OTKs easier. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. The Anarchist, signing out.